Everything is fine. Hey, Hillary.
Hi,
Yeah.
Jenny.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing okay for a Monday afternoon.
Yeah, yeah.
Feels very Monday. Very
It does
Monday
feel
today.
Monday. I
Yeah.
don't know why I don't like Mondays.
Tell me why.
Speaking of, today is Monday, July 14th. If you're listening, it is on or after Wednesday, July 16th, 2025. This is season 7, episode 27.
And you're listening to Kissing Lips and Breaking Hearts with Guard Tarts. So
This,
welcome.
welcome. This is a Live Aid dedicated up. So July 13th, 1995 was the big extravaganza that is now and then was Live Aid.
Yes, 48 years ago.
I
Oh, yeah.
We're
No,
way too young to remember that, but I do. I just remember sitting, my parents had a brown beanbag chair in our den, and I sat in the beanbag chair all day long and watched MTV, which wasn't extraordinary because I'm sure I did that every Saturday, but
right. But it was the particular content that was
yes.
interesting. I'm gonna have to ask my parents if they remember Live Aid being on because I have no memory of it
Yeah.
being on. I mean, I obviously know what it is, but I don't remember watching it as it was happening.
Yeah.
And I feel like that my younger sister's age, like with it would have been on because they put it on.
Right.
I feel like, was see, so well, so I was 8.5 or so. So yeah, maybe you having like that extra year was just that much more.
I mean, I was just a crazy TV person.
You were so
I
into,
don't
yeah,
know that like my friends remember watching it or anything, but
right.
I just I knew that's what I was doing that day. I think my mom like I got my mom to send in like a check for $5 or something like that.
Oh, I feel like you've mentioned that before. I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, but it was like I think it was an address and you had to send it to an address. It was like in the mail.
Oh, I'm sure. Like, did they
Yeah.
seriously? They didn't have phone lines, I guess.
Not that
I don't
I
know.
knew of. I don't know.
Because that was the goal, was raising money, awareness, but money,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So I mean, it was obviously, I think as a whole, it was a coming of age event for Gen Xers to me. And I mean, it was like our Woodstock, except
Oh,
I don't know
yeah.
anyone that was there, but well, I know 4 guys that were there.
Our YouTube friend Jenny was in Philadelphia.
Oh yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So my information is about the London shows.
Mhm.
I did not accumulate much information on the other shows, but there was a Live Aid in the Soviet Union, Canada, Japan, Yugoslavia, Austria, Australia, West Germany, and the US in Philadelphia.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah, crazy. But I don't know, this made me think about it, but I read, and I don't know if this is true, but I read that in the airport in, I don't know, somewhere in Austria, they have like a whole section of like if you booked Australia and you ended up in Austria, you come to this desk
Yes,
because
yes.
it happens so often that
I know that from you.
yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know, I just always kind of,
that is hilarious.
I mean, man,
That's really.
yeah.
It's like when you see a sign and you're like, "Who the fuck?" Well, enough people did
Right.
to create this sign. Like, enough people did that they had to create this desk.
Like when we were in Dalkey and there was that sign that said, "Don't rub dog poop in your eyes."
Yeah.
Enough people must have done it that they felt that the sign was a necessity.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It was like crazy eye.
Poop eyes.
It was poop. Oh my god. I asked a friend about that, and born and raised in Ireland friend, lived in Dublin for a while, and she was like, "Yeah, that's not normal."
There was
'Cause I was like,
something
"Y'all got the funniest signs."
there was
Her
something
husband's an
else that I mean, th they do have the funniest signs there, like, signs that, like, make no sense at all, like, "Don't drive your car off a bridge."
"You'll
Somebody
end up in the
must
river."
somebody must have done it and said, "I didn't know my car was gonna end up in the water."
Mhm.
Multiple people. I had no idea that if I drove off a yeah. Yeah. So, anyway, okay. So the story goes, and I'm sure we've actually talked about this story before, but that Bob Geldof watched a program in 1984 on the BBC. It was the BBC was the first to report on the famine in Ethiopia. It was described as a biblical famine in the 20th century and the closest thing to hell on earth. This famine was just absolutely unheard of and far off political radars. So Geldof called his friend mid-year from Ultravox, and together they quickly wrote Do They Know It's Christmas in hopes of raising funds. They expected to raise about 70,000 pounds, but it ended up raising 8 million. Band-Aid. Um, and the idea for a benefit concert was actually Boy George's. He was just like,
Yeah.
you should have a benefit concert. To sell the show, Geldof told people that he wanted, he was hoping to get as promoters, that he already had David Bowie, Elton John, and Queen, which he did not. He didn't have anybody, but he sold it with those people, and
Oh
indeed,
my gosh.
those people were there. So it was 16 hours of filming aired. It was one of the largest satellite link ups and TV broadcasts of all time. So this is crazy. This fact is totally crazy. 1.9 billion people in 150 nations watched the live broadcast. That's nearly 40% of the Earth's population. That kind of gives me chills.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And they raised on that day over $140 million. Let me see, where am I?
Wow.
Yeah. So the organizers said they had to have at least one Beatle perform, preferably Paul McCartney. They said they felt that having a British elder statesman would increase the legitimacy in the eyes of politicians. He was 43.
I was gonna say.
He was 43. Yeah. Elder statesman. But I mean, I guess in the scope of things, like 40 years
Yeah.
before that, rock and roll was new. So anyway,
Right, right. I guess in the
yeah,
rock and roll world, that is an elder
elder statesman.
statesman and the relativity of the age of rock and roll.
Yeah. So Paul McCartney said that the management convinced him to perform, and the management were his kids. Um, so just like my favorite fun fact, which I remember it live, but Phil Collins played at Wembley. He got on a helicopter from Wembley to go to Heathrow. Then he got on the Concorde to go to New York and took another helicopter to Philadelphia. And to perform at JFK Stadium. That was when, we believed in technology still, and we had supersonic jets.
I
Um,
wonder when they stopped. What happened with the Concorde?
Three, they had a crash, but like for all the airlines that have had crashes, that hasn't stopped the air.
Wait, really interesting. I wonder, maybe they just ran out of planes.
But the idea, they just scrapped
Yeah,
the idea of supersonic.
yeah, so weird.
So weird.
Yeah.
Um,
Anyway,
I wish we were like we were grown-ups in that time, but I wish that it had become a thing because
right.
I mean, it just seems to take a really long time to get to Europe.
Yeah, right. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. Yeah, anyway.
So Band-Aid closed the UK show, and then We're the World closed the US show. What else do I have? Yeah, elder statesman, Jesus. Okay. It kind of started off really cool. It started off with the Prince and Princess of Wales, Charles and Diana, with Geldof walking in, like, to their seats. Like, Geldof walked them to their
That's
seats, which
very
was really
cool.
cool. Then they played God Save the Queen, because we had a queen then too,
Mhm. Hello, queen.
and her little corgi.
Oh, she has a corgi.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. Okay, so, yeah, it started off with a lot of kind of mediocre British bands,
Yeah.
uh, and then I don't know, Spandau Ballet was really good, um, and then Elvis Costello, and he said that he's like, "I'm gonna play a little northern tune for all of you," and it was "All You Need Is Love," Northern
Aw.
English, like, he says it like it's an old-timey, but it was just from literally the northern part of England.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, Sting, amazing. The only woman to play the only woman to have a full set the entire day in London was Sade. They were all just
Was Sade on the Band-Aid recording? One of the few women.
mm-mm. Jodie Watley's on there and,
Yeah.
Bananarama.
They're yeah, and they're, like, background.
Yeah, they don't and none of them get a solo.
Of the whole of London, or you think of every state?
London, there were, I don't have all the performers, but
Right.
Madonna played in, um
In Philly and stuff.
Philadelphia, and
Okay.
there were I mean, but j in London, it was just Sade. So the performers in London were Status Quo, The Style Council, Boomtown Rats, Adam Ant, Ultravox, Spandau Ballet, Elvis Costello, Nick Kershaw, Sade, Sting, Phil Collins with Branford Marsalis, Brian Ferry with David Gilmour, Paul Young, U2, Dire Straits, Queen, David Bowie, The Who, Elton John, Freddie Mercury with and Brian May again, Paul McCartney with Bowie, Geldof, Alison Moyet, and Pete Townsend, and then Band Aid. And at the end, when they did, okay, there were 72,000 people at Wembley. That's nuts. Like, when it's just a sea of people. Okay, so Band-Aid at the end, I'm missing a ton of people, but just from glancing, um, when they sang Band-Aid at the end, it was Paul and Linda McCartney, Alison Moyet, Pete Townsend, David Bowie, Bob Geldof, George Michael, and Andrew Ridgeley, Bono, Jody Watley, Sting, Howard Jones, Roger Daltrey, Adam Ant, Elton John, Freddie Mercury. Um, and they all kind of they were all kind of pushing each other out of the way to get their microphone moments, but, George Michael, Bono, and Sting did sing their original parts
Good.
in the song. Okay, so we came here to YouTube podcast-ish. We're gonna talk about YouTube. So,
Okay.
from yesterday, YouTube posted a very just amazing little synopsis of the day. But so you two from Live Aid to Kill Aid, you two were excited to play a small part in this gigantic moment 40 years ago. We spotted a fair few of white flags in the crowd, a theme from the War album still gathering pace on Unforgettable Fire, and still to this day.
And still.
And since Live Aid was a coming of age for our audience as much as our band, a day when everyone seemed to agree that where you live should not decide whether you live. That saying keeps morphing. It's a different words, but it's the same thing. Anyway,
It's like it just keeps getting a little shorter and more condensed,
more
like yeah,
precise. In the next years, many of us will come to understand that if the first step in fighting the depravity of starvation was charity. And the hard yards and the long road would be fighting extreme poverty as injustice. We would learn to ask more demanding questions of how the world of plentiful resources and intelligence, so many sentient souls could perish for the dumbest reasons. Bob Geldof and the spirit in Wembley Stadium at RFK that day sent our band and our fans to places and possibilities we would never have known to move from agonizing to organizing, and the exploring innovative platforms like Jubilee 2000, Data One, and Red. Same spirit giving us instructions today, louder than ever, I'm sorry, as it says in the good book, have mullet will travel, make poverty history. Who wrote that? And there's lacking a lot of punctuation, which is why I had a hard time reading
Have
it.
mullet will travel.
Have mullet will travel, which I'm assuming is the title
The
of
title
this.
of this
Yeah,
episode.
yeah.
Live
It's just
Aid.
like
Have mullet will travel.
we don't come up with the titles, they just, like, appear.
Yeah.
Um, so have mullet will travel. Yeah. Okay, so U2's set was supposed to be Sunny Blaze Sunday, Bad, and Pride, but Bad lasted for 16 minutes, and they never got to their new single, Pride.
Their
As the
new
story goes.
this was gonna be their defining moment with their
Right,
new single,
right.
and
The whole
arguably
world.
one of their biggest singles, even
Yeah,
today,
yeah.
without knowing the numbers, and God, they okay.
But it also, like, people didn't hear Pride. I mean, they would hear plenty of Pride thereafter, like, More Than You Need, but it also kind of catapulted Bad into this, like, cult favorite. Like,
Yeah.
everybody wants to hear Bad every concert they go to. I mean, I do.
Mhm. Oh,
Don't
yeah,
you?
1000%.
Yeah, and even if I know they're playing it, I still am like,
Like, "Oh my god, they're actually doing it."
yeah. Okay, so as the story goes, Bono tried to tell security that a girl was being smushed in the crowd, but they didn't understand. So he jumped off the stage to save the girl and ended up dancing with her. So he first jumped off the like edge of the stage, which was where the security, that was a pretty big jump. And he did that. And then he jumped off that down to the ground, which was a massive jump.
Like,
I mean,
it's
like he
not
was
something you can climb back up.
no, he was just like falling. Like it wasn't even like it was, there's no way you could gracefully climb down there.
Uh-uh.
Though I think that, well, he first pulled up 2 girls and they were on the stage, like, at a distance, and then he went down to, like, get the girl that was being smushed.
Right.
Though I think his performance was sincere, but I also sincerely think that he just really wanted off that stage. That was a lot of people, and just looking at it 40 years later, I would never be on a stage like that, but looking at that
No.
crowd, I feel that anxiety, like, I mean, that
Yeah.
was so the band Bono says the band couldn't see him and worried that he possibly left because he was so nervous, um, but this was before cordless microphones,
Right.
and so they couldn't see him.
Or
They
yeah.
didn't know what he was doing, they just had to keep, I mean, who was gonna tell them when to stop playing if Bono
It's
actually
just
didn't leave?
the same few notes over and over.
Over and over and over again, like, they'd still be playing that crowd.
Yeah, right.
We've been playing this song for 40 years, and it seemed like 40 years that day. So, they were furious that Bono's antics caused them to skip Pride. Bono went home in the dumps thinking he destroyed their career. He went into hiding. Finally, he got a call from Paul McGuinness, who said that they were the smash of the day, and his life hasn't been the same since, not just in terms of popularity, but also in terms of humanitarianism. Since then, Bono's been the face or the voice of activism. So, I mean, that day
Well,
was life changing for Bono in many, many, many ways.
yeah.
Okay, so the minutia of the day. That outfit, I love it.
You do love it?
I do love that
I
outfit.
love it too.
It's a
Yeah.
great outfit, and you can see his cuffs, which is perfectly fine because they match the shirt he's wearing underneath.
And he's not at, like, the White House
Oh, right,
or, like, a black tie event or
right.
Sundance. He's at a rock and roll
Yeah,
show. That's
those
fine.
damn cuffs, but they match his shirt. Like,
They
I
do.
don't care about anyway,
Anyway,
it was everything was well fitted. It was when he still went to Men's Warehouse and got the
the free fitting.
free, what's the word?
Alterations?
Alterations, thank you. It's gross how his hair sticks to his sweaty face, and I'm still confused with what was going on there. Like, it's very infrequent that Bono's hair is just a clear picture. Like, there was spikiness, but there was, like, iron straight that looked, like, very coarse.
Didn't he say that he ironed his hair
Yeah,
for the day?
like an but
So my mom used to straighten her hair.
my mom did too. Well, my mom has no, I'm sorry, my mom has straight hair, she didn't do that, but she would use, like, toilet paper rolls to curl her
Oh,
hair.
yeah.
Um, anyway, I don't know how long bad was supposed to last. That song almost always goes long, but I guess pride is pretty short, though, or
Right.
it can be. Maybe if Bono didn't sing all of the 269 cover snippets, they would have been able to fit Pride in, maybe. And maybe Bono just totally lost track of time.
It's
But when
yeah,
he walked off the stage, he wasn't making eye contact with anybody. Like, he just left the stage. So, I mean, he had to have known this was
yeah.
bad. Bad.
Bad,
It was
bad.
very bad. And also, maybe the smushing of people got worse because he jumped off the stage.
I mean,
Because he
like
jumped off the stage and the crowd went apeshit. I'm
right.
sure they rushed the barricade.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, you see Greg Carroll and Jenna Sheehan in the background, and it's not sad because they're not with
Yeah,
us anymore.
yeah.
Okay, so the only thing that I'm talking about aside from U2 is Queen, who I believe that day, and I still believe, had the most flawless, perfect performance of that. I'm not saying they were the biggest, or I'm not comparing them to U2 because it was like apples and oranges back
Yeah,
then.
very different, yeah.
But I mean, I am, a lifelong, almost lifelong diehard dedicated U2 fan, but Queen had the most impressive set at Live Aid. Radio Gaga, just holy crap. Like, when one person has that much control over 72,000 people that he can say when you're gonna clap and when you're gonna, raise your arms and
Yeah.
um, like, Freddie Mercury should have had, like, a big, I know it wasn't his thing was just flat out performance, but he should have had, like, a fundraising speech or something because at that moment, anyone in the world would have given him all their money.
All of it. They were listening to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just unreal. I don't know if it's true or not. This is another story that I've heard,
Mhm.
but that Freddie Mercury had, like, extra teeth. That's why he was all jumbled and everything, but scientists have studied whether his range was so vast because he had extra space in his mouth.
Interesting.
And I mean,
I feel like I've heard that before, but it may have been from you.
and I might just be,
Yeah.
repeating some rumor that never really
Oh,
happened. But it would make sense that, like, I mean, nobody could sing like, I mean, there's no voice like Freddie Mercury in terms of his
mm-mm.
range. So,
Right.
and also there's nobody that's had, like, janked up teeth like that. So, I'm
It's
like,
also a famous it's also made it in the singing business.
yeah,
Well, it's so true. I mean, I feel like anyone who has a God-given talent, a natural born talent, I mean, Michael Phelps his body is meant to swim.
right. His
Like
wingspan, like, jeez,
right,
you're totally right
exactly.
about that.
And you think
There's
about like the
something
fact so
there's
if
something physical that makes you, it's not all I mean, it's a lot of practice, but it's not
oh
all
yeah,
practice.
for sure. You have to fine tune it, but
Yeah, yeah,
like, Bono's got that lung capacity that we all know about now.
yeah. Well, we know about that.
Well, I mean, the world knows about it.
Yeah. Now he's announced it, but we've
Yeah,
known about it since we were in that video. I'm not
yeah.
gonna tell that story because it doesn't look good on any of us.
No.
No. Anyway, one thing about Philadelphia, and I kind of started to say it, but Philadelphia, Joan Baez, another woman, got when she got up, she said, like, "This is your Woodstock." And, like, she was at Woodstock.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I just got chills. I mean, I said it was like Woodstock, but I was just quoting her there. Also, like, what was so big about, like, duster jackets in the '80s or, like, Revolutionary War coats, like, from Hamilton? Like, they
I
everybody
Trends are
wore
weird. Trends
everybody
are
wore
so
these
weird
those duster jackets, which I think are just ugly.
and hot. It's July.
Yeah. Now, Sting had it he had it going on because he was wearing linen pants and a long white button shirt with, like, a Nehru collar.
Oh, yeah.
That was chill, but linen pants, it was definitely the '80s. They don't even sell men's linen pants anymore, like, is that a
Oh,
thing?
linen pants have made quite a comeback, I think, and I could see, like,
Sting.
Sting. I feel like it's a style that only the incredibly wealthy or the incredibly gay can pull off.
Truth. There is so much truth to that, yes.
Like a straight guy,
Yeah,
I feel like if you're pulling it off well, people might assume you're, that you identify differently.
yeah. Good call.
Stereotypes. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Okay,
Some lovely linen pants on the beach or something.
yeah.
On your
Okay,
yacht. Yeah.
like, all the when you go see a yacht rock band, all the people either used to own yachts or aspire to own a yacht.
Yeah.
Like, nobody else there except unless you wanna people watch, like,
Unless yeah, your
I've never owned
thoughts are
a
yacht
yacht.
adjacent,
I've never owned a yacht, and I don't plan on ever
and I
owning
don't
one.
want one. Yeah,
I mean,
either and or.
I'd take one, but it would be a lot of insurance and overhead and where you put
I
it
would
and
take it as long as everything was taken care of with it. I want the whole shebang,
yeah.
none of the worry. Well, speaking of Live Aid,
Yes.
the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has a new Live Aid case to commemorate the 40th anniversary. It is, a little sadly, has replaced the U2 case in the main exhibit hall. But as our Gardens Heart Amanda says, those things need to take a rest,
Yes.
which is actually like I giggled at her, but it's like an actual archival term that things need to rest.
Yeah.
They've been out in the light for a long time. So it's in
She
there.
said they'll dream it up again.
Oh, yeah, they'll dream it up again. In the case, Amanda gave us a few highlights: Freddie Mercury's shoes, Nile Rodgers' guitar, and a credential from the Royal Box Wembley where Diana sat.
Awesome.
So those are some highlights that are in there. Oh,
That's worth speaking of.
oh, yeah. Should we do a little tattoo review?
Yeah.
No, I think I changed my bandage yesterday because it was coming off. But look at my lemon.
It's beautiful. I love
It's
it
got
so
a
much.
bandage on it, but in a next bet you next app I can show it like clean and for real.
Yeah.
But it was so funny. So Amanda got her own version of a lemon, and the tattoo artist is like, "So is it one of your favorite songs?" And Amanda looked at each other and we're like, "No." She's like, "It's not." We're like, "It's more of an overarching theme."
Yeah.
We don't hate the song, but no.
We like it as an icon. I
Yeah.
had the I sent your pictures to Kelly, who just got a tattoo.
Yeah.
She was like, she said, "What is," or she asked about your tattoo and said, "What is that lyric?" And I said, "Lemon." And she was like, "Oh, I hate that song." And I'm like, "Yeah, me too." Like, you're not hurting my feelings there.
Right. So it says, so I wouldn't have thought it, so it says midnight is, there's a glare because of the bandage that's on it. Midnight is where the day begins. And as she's doing it, the artist is doing it, she's like, "Real quick, before I do any lettering, did you check the spelling?" I'm like, "I did, and Amanda did. We're good." And she's like, "Are you sure it's not midnight is when the day begins?"
Yeah, it's weird.
And then Amanda goes, she's just like, "I'm just gonna double check the lyric." We're like, "We're 99% sure." And she's like, "Yes, it is where. It is where the day begins."
Or you could have just said,
Oh,
"Well, it."
yeah. So I have the lyric in there because our good friend Avril over in Dublin has this as a sticker. It's a very her version is a very, like, traditional tattoo style, and she gave me permission to send it to this artist who makes things stuff softer and a little more, I don't wanna say whimsical, but, like, feminine maybe? I don't know. Avril gave full permission, and so it had the lyric in her original design, so
That's
and I
so
liked
awesome,
it.
Avril. So for years I worked for an insurance company, and I can't even tell you how many times someone would come in and say, "Phew, I made it here right before noon." And I'm like, "You know, your insurance canceled last night or early this morning." And they're like, "No, it's noon." And I'm like, "No, it's 12:01 AM." And I would say it over and over and over that midnight is where the day
Where
begins.
the day begins.
Like, I mean, I'm sure I said it so many times that I became an asshole over it, but, like, you know
Yeah.
how on New Year's we count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, Happy New Year. Happens every night.
Eh,
It's just not New Year.
nothing ends at noon,
No,
and if it
nothing.
does, someone will tell you noon. Nothing
If you
expires at
think your
noon.
insurance cancels at noon, you're sorely mistaken because it's already canceled. But I did look, my mouse pad.
Your mouse pad came.
Yeah.
It was so funny. I was at work this morning, and everyone was seeing my tattoo, and then I had my notebook out to take some notes, and it's lemons all over it, and I had my Stanley, it has a lemon little topper on it, and I'm like, "People will start to notice."
Yeah.
I got lemons everywhere. Okay, anyway, was that it for Live Aid?
That's it for Live Aid. That's all
Okay,
I have.
so if that was 40 years ago, 20 years ago, on July 2nd, 2005 was Live 8, the number 8, which was not only to commemorate the 20th anniversary of Live Aid, but it was also done around the G8 summit that was happening. And it was in so they did 8 states and South Africa, so to coincide with the number 8, with the G8. And the 8 shows were in the 8 G8 countries and South Africa. So Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, Russia, UK, the USA, and the EU were represented. And then Johannesburg, I think, is where the South Africa one was. And I giggled, I was going to say, things that make you go, giggled when you said the only woman on the London stage. And because for this one, the only black person to perform initially scheduled was Mariah Carey. In this whole thing for Africa, there was no African representation.
And, you
Do
know
they know it's Christmas time? I don't know.
oh, that's painful. Like, they're almost I mean, there should never have been an excuse for why something like that would be acceptable, except that we were blind. The '80s were just
Oh,
blind faith.
right.
But by 2005, the world knew better than that.
You would hope, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. It was just they're like, "Oh, we're just gonna call the big acts," and all the big acts are white men.
right,
That's what are you gonna do? Because other women acts and people of color acts they weren't allowed to choose from because they hadn't been elevated.
right.
But anyway, so the Live 8 was all run in support of the aims of 2 organizations, the Make Poverty History organization and the Global Call to Action Against Poverty. So this was these concerts were an awareness campaign and pressure on the G8 countries to basically promise more aid towards countries that have debt and a specific amount to African countries as well. This was a big, like, drop the debt kind of push, as well as aid. So there were 10 concerts on July 2nd. There was one on July 6th, which was in Edinburgh, which I think is actually close to where the summit was.
Yeah,
Okay.
Glennie was
Um,
right.
What?
It was in Glen Eagles.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then on July 10th, at the summit, the G8 leaders pledged to double aid to the poor nations from 250 million to 50 million. Could you imagine that like today's would have to be like billions.
Yeah.
Like 50 million is nothing to spread across the world.
No.
It's crazy. So like Bob Geldof was like, this is not Live Aid 2. This
Right.
is the same idea, but with different means. There were over 1,000 musicians. It was on 182 TV networks, 2,000 radio stations. There were 3 million viewers in the US and 3 million worldwide. There are a bunch of performers in London and I just kind of have the highlights here. Madonna, U2, Paul McCartney, got that elder statesman.
They were
um,
all elder they were
they're all
all
elder
way
statesmen,
more
right?
elder statesmen.
Right? Mariah Carey, the only original artist of color to be booked. Travis Keen, Pink Floyd, who performed together for the first time in 24 years. Cool. Elton John, Chris Martin, Robbie Williams. I have something about Mariah Carey. They said the organizers argued that few Black British artists with big enough audiences to get the media attention, which is why they didn't. And yes, but also try harder.
Yeah.
And then why British? Mariah Carey's not British. Pull from somewhere else.
Well, I was
Madonna's
gonna say, I
not
mean,
British. Well,
what
I don't
that's
know
what yeah, who knows?
what decade was it? Was
Yeah.
Madonna British? But she's still American. Anyway, who else do we have? In Philadelphia, the Kaiser Chiefs, Kanye, Will Smith, Jay-Z, Linkin Park, Stevie Wonder with Rob Thomas and Adam Levine. I mean, some of those Americans over to like Black artists. Canada had Deep Purple, members of the Cars and Aerosmith, Tragically Hip, and then Neil Young. That was, I mean, Neil Young, like, chef's kiss there, but they were like, is this all you got, Canada? Like,
Right.
you can also do better." Pet Shop Boys were in Moscow. Brian Wilson and Green Day were in Berlin. Those are like oh, and then Johannesburg was an entirely African lineup. There was Johannesburg, and they had an entirely African lineup in Cornwall.
Okay.
Who knows? But on to do I have another page? I do. Let's talk about U2 for a minute.
Yeah.
So U2 was fantastic. So fucking good. Like, this is what this is how I want my band to perform in an
Yeah.
event like this. They came out with Paul McCartney and did Sergeant Pepper, and they had like, guys playing trumpets in the uniforms and like the Sergeant Pepper like graphics behind it was so cool.
So cool.
Went straight into Beautiful Day, which was everything you want it to be. With black
Let me just add, it was Paul McCartney had never performed Sergeant Pepper live.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Dude, there is at one point, I thought I wrote it down. I did right as Beautiful Day was starting, Bono was like, that really happened. Like playing with the Beatles. He's like, I just gotta make note of that.
No, that's cute.
So Beautiful Day ending with Blackbird, Vertigo, which was again the crowd rouser that you want. And he just kept instead of saying, give us what I want and no one gets hurt, it just saying give us what we want. And then they ended with a appearance by the Green Gretsch, our good friend, with "You Hear Us Coming, Lord" at the end. So it was a really, really great performance.
So wasn't I love that it clearly wasn't just for the randos watching, it was also for fans.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, it was so great. It was so great. And they all look like babies, especially Ed. She looks like a teenager.
Yeah. And at the time we were like, "My god, they're so old.
Oh, so
So old. Oh my god, how are they still doing this at
man,
45?"
gosh, wish I looked like that when I was 45. There was everything's going to get criticism, especially in the day and age of the internet when stuff can be shared. We don't, I'm guessing there's not information like this about the original Live Aid, but like in Philly, There's no monetary compensation, but the performers got gift bags with like $12,000 worth of swag in it. So from like Gretsch, they got like a guitar and like $6,000 watches. I don't know. It's crazy. It did not have the TV coverage like Live Aid did. UK had a 60-minute special, US had a 90-minute special. It was streamed live on AOL, and they won the first Emmy Award for content delivered via the internet.
Interesting.
Yeah. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, very.
As of
Oddly, I don't remember watching that at all,
no.
but I can remember the first one. I mean,
So
I'm
this
sure
was
I did, but
right. So this was July 2025. In June of 2026, G8 had not yet lived up to their promises, but there was movement. From many countries, there was movement in the correct direction.
right.
Some countries had done nothing. And I just have one more thing. You can go to live8live.com, and it's the original website, I guess, but it's like, this is archival. Like things may have changed, whatever. It's obviously a piece of history, but the front page has a quote from Bono, and it says, Live 8 was and remains a brilliant moment, but what is more important is the brilliant movement of which it was a part. This gives the poorest of the poor real political muscle for the first time. It is this movement of church people and trade unionists, soccer moms, and student activists that will carry the spirit of Live Aid on. It is this movement, not rock stars, that will make it untenable in the future to break promises to the most vulnerable people on this planet. That was always why we put on the concerts. Makes me sad now.
Very sad. Everything about what we've talked about today makes me sad because
Yeah, untenable in the future to break promises.
yeah.
No. They're all broken. Have you had a chance to watch any of the CNN stuff other than the little clip you 2 posted?
No, it's on my I'll watch it when it's on my DVR.
I haven't watched it yet either, but YouTube posted a little 4-minute thing that's with Bono and Condoleezza Rice, and it was so fun.
I saw that.
Oh, yeah, just that I meant besides that,
Oh, no,
like,
no,
if
no,
you've seen
no.
any more.
No, no.
So YouTube they posted in their stories yesterday. I'm sure it's easy to find. It's on CNN's YouTube, but it is funny. It's about him saying getting into Condi's office and how she's like this fan and she's like, "I'll meet Bono." And then she's a little bit like, "Sorry, dude." And then how that picture with Bush ended up happening. It's a funny little 4 minutes.
Yeah. It is, and it's adorable that she was, like, insulted that he didn't trust her, but
Yeah, he shouldn't,
no.
and she should yeah. He
So,
shouldn't trust her, and she should know politics well enough to not be trusted.
exactly.
But
She
she's
knows
like
she's
like,
not gonna
"Dude, Bono will do anything for you."
yeah,
But this was the beginning of Drop the Debt, basically, is what
yeah.
sounds like that conversation was. Yeah,
But, yeah, it's really cute.
yeah. And she's like, "Well, if you want us to do this, you have to come to this photo op." And he's like, "Nope." And she's like, "Sorry."
Fair. Well, that's all I have for today.
Yeah,
This was
there
a
we go,
good
Live 8 then Live 8.
episode, and it came out much better than I expected because I was just like,
Yeah.
"I don't know what I'm gonna say," and then it just kinda fell into place. So, anyway, you can watch all of Live Aid on YouTube.
Mhm.
It's in, like, sections, but you can see it all.
Right. And
Uh,
Live 8's on there too. You can just
yeah,
fuddle around, see the artist you wanna see. And, in the US, keep an eye out for the CNN special,
it's 4
and
episodes, the first one aired last night.
then
I
it's
think
it's
you can get it
BBC
on
and CNN, right?
yeah, but I think you can stream it on I read this, I've not checked, but I think you could stream it on, um, Hulu or Disney today.
I gotta do that because we don't get cable, so I can't
Yeah,
see CNN.
I don't, my parents do, so I'm gonna yep. So, on the next episode of The Garden Tarts, Bono and Buster go on safari.
Wonder what they'll see.
I hope they don't see, like, a model home because, Arrested Development.
The model home.
That's the name. It's not just a clever thing. It's an Arrested Development. It's like a
Yeah,
development that started and then was arrested.
arrested.
Yeah.
It's
Not like
literally an arrested development.
yes. And none of those people
I don't think I
grew
ever
up.
put that together.
Oh,
That
and I
it's
mean,
just the model home that the development never happened. I was today
they
years
wanted
old.
to call it Sudden Valley, and then George Michael said, "It sounds like a salad dressing, but for some reason I don't wanna eat it." That show
Not
is
the George
just
Michael y'all are thinking of.
no, no, not that George Michael. This whole entire day has just come full circle.
Right back to it.
Yep.
I saw this reel just earlier today, and it was people were on a safari. They were in some kind of vehicle filming whatever's in front of them, and this elephant, it looked like an elephant and some smaller elephants cross their path, and the elephant, like, gives them a nod, like, "Thanks for letting us come through."
Oh,
But,
that's
like,
fu
you know how, like, if traffic stops for you, kinda give them a nice wave or, like, a
yeah,
it was like
that's
anyway, I hope they see a friendly elephant.
yeah, I hope they do.
Me too. Okay, y'all. Well, enjoy the rest of your week.
Thanks for listening, and,
Yeah.
I don't
We'll
know
talk
what we're
soon.
gonna talk about next week. Hopefully something will come to us. If you have any suggestions or something that you would like to hear about, questions,
We haven't done listener questions in a while.
yeah, I'll make a graphic.
Okay. Okay, crew.
Okay, bye. Thanks for
Bye.
listening.
I started clapping. Bye.
We'll be back next week with more U2ish content.
In the meantime, keep chatting with us on social media at _Garden Tarts.
Sign up for our newsletter at thegardentarts.com and share with your YouTube friends.
You can support us on Patreon, buy me a coffee, and leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts.
Kissing Lips and Breaking Hearts, a U2ish podcast with the Garden Tarts, is created, produced, and edited by us, the Garden Tarts.
Intro and outro music by December.
See you next week.